Good morning, afternoon, or night, everyone. My name is Kai, and I'm back with my Yandere simulator redesigns. I did promise to make another video, and here it is. I know this is late, but school has been beating me to a metaphorical pulp recently, so we'll ignore that. I do know that this video is going to be a lot shorter than the other one, especially the introduction. However, I'm also praying that it's a little less cringy, because I keep rewatching the last one, and yikes. Anyways, I do want to clarify before I start that I am a storyteller, not a game dev. I'm essentially rewriting the story of YanSim because it sucks. I'm not nitpicking the features from the game because even if I think they're bad, it's not like I can do better, you know? Okay, just to catch you guys up on what I did do last time, I redesigned Ayano, Taro, and Info-chan along with building the base for my story. In my AU, Ayano, Taro, Osana, and Raibaru are a friend group, and Ayano has to go about her reputation as a member of the quote-unquote popular kids, her very shallow friendship with Raibaru, who ends up being quite an obstacle, her love for Taro, and then also the stuff she commits. Today, I'll be working on the first two rivals and Raibaru, so Osana, Raibaru, and Amai. Taro is basically Osana's handbag in my AU. She hooks her arm around him at any given opportunity, and anyone who knows anything about the school knows that Osana and Taro are an item, except they are not. This may or may not have been inspired by a book I recently read. Shout out to the main antagonist, Charlotte. We love her. Anyways, Taro is closer with Budo, the martial arts club president. They grew up together and built a much stronger relationship than Osana and Taro did. Osana's parents were very close with Taro's, and they thought it was a lovely idea for their little kids to date. You know when the parents are best friends, and so they're like, okay, I'm gonna have a boy, you're gonna have a girl, and then they're gonna get married, and then I don't know how we'll continue that family line because then incest, but you know parents like that? That's what happened with them. Anyways. And Taro was never really that interested in Osana, but the poor girl never came to terms with that fact, and Taro was too good of a friend to risk deeply upsetting Osana, so when he was brought matching bracelets, cheered on during sports, and made lackluster food, he never really rejected it. Osana's weirdly quite the creative type. She hated the way the uniforms looked because they were too bland, so with the help of her influential parents and her own creative endeavors, she customized her uniform and has been living with pink sweater vests scot-free for years. Osana can be bossy though, and often prefers to do things herself, unless it's with Taro, in which case she will still do it, and she will get mad at him anyways, and he'll take the lecture like a champ. I figured that it was just a little bit dumb that the characters all had eyes that matched their hair. It reminded me of when couples in gacha videos look like twins, and everyone was like, that's totally normal, they look like brother and sister because matching color palettes and all. Anyways, it was just redundant to me, so I decided to make Osana an authentic ginger. I gave her subtle freckles and bright green eyes. As I said, the color of her uniform has been tweaked to give it some Osana flair. I really liked the pose she was in, so I figured I'd keep it and just change up what the pose is meant to be doing a little to make her seem meaner. I think it's probably just me, but I feel like my Osana is a lot cuter in a teehee tsundere way than the original is because, girl, I don't even know what's going on with her in the PNG. She has a really big case of baby face and an even bigger case of OnlyFans model body, and it's so off-putting to me. For Raibaru, I had her sort of take inspiration from Osana with the design of the hair clip and leg warmers. As Osana is a ginger and Raibaru is a little Osana clone, I thought it would be sweet if Raibaru had her hair dyed orange to match her best friend. In my design, Raibaru is originally a blonde with blue eyes. In my first video, I mentioned Raibaru's interest in true crime and foreshadowed how it would be quite the problem for Ayano. I thought it would also be fun if she pursued journalism for the sake of her interests. This is also how I connected her official relation to martial arts. I figured it'd be logical if she was like, nah, I ain't gonna end up on a shitty podcast, and started taking martial arts as self-defense classes. This would also be the way to tie in Ayano's struggles with evading the police, investigators, etc. because, like, me personally, I would hate to be the main suspect of a true crime addicted child. Like, For the drawing, I did make her a bit wonky in the legs, and I'm not the proudest of this piece, but it's fine. It's not like she's a prevalent part of my AU or anything. Lastly is Amai. Amai? I don't know. I honestly don't have many issues with her original character design. I do think the striped thigh highs are just sort of out of place, but that's basically it. I understand what the character is meant to be, the hot mommy for Taro to lean on so that Ayano has a reason to get even angrier. I also think her addition is a logical way for the story to progress. This little guy is heartbroken and his classmate returns to school and immediately starts comforting him. It's valid, you know? Personally, I think that the fact that all the rivals are absent before their corresponding weeks is a bit of a stupid choice, and I won't let it slide for other characters. However, I want the girls to have lives outside of Taro to really sell just how mentally screwed up Ayano is. I think after the death of Osana, there would be this really big event where Amai returns from a cooking game show in which she won and got to take an internship at one of the top restaurants in the area. It would serve as tonal whiplash for the other students, and I think it would be cool if Amai and Ayano were the only students who didn't have really adverse reactions to Osana's death. I feel like that would also push them to have to work together for a fundraiser or something. Amai would be upset, obviously, but she would assume it was a freak accident and try to cheer up the rest of her schoolmates. This is also when, if it were formatted in-game, cutscenes with Ayano and another student will have Raibaru mysteriously in the background with a low-quality recorder of some sort, just to add that little suspense that, Raibaru is already on Ayano's tail. More on Amai, I think it's appropriate that she's the mother figure of her class and therefore trusted by teachers and staff. This offers Ayano some safety if she chooses to help Amai set up the, charity for Osana's passing. A big issue I have with the original YanSim designs is the way the faces are drawn. The artist did an amazing job, but you can really sort of see what Alex was on when he commissioned this stuff. Look at this, bro! That concludes my second part of the redesigns. I'm not sure if I will do all the rivals, but there are a few I definitely do want to cover. The changes made to these three girls I think are nice additions to the story and plot. Of course, I'm not planning on making a game or a book based around this, but I do think it's an improvement from the original that doesn't even have proper rivals. Oh my god. I feel like each rival honestly needs their own personal elimination, and I think Osana would have something to do with her being framed for something. And then Amai would probably have her food poisoned or have a kitchen accident. The changes to the characters this time go as follows. Osana would act more her age and her design isn't as busty. This is a constant for all the characters, but yeah. Raibaru, albeit wonky, has elements of her martial art and self-defense in her outfit, like the hair in a bun and the slightly longer skirt. And Amai doesn't have really that many changes because her design was solid. She has been given a floor-length apron skirt with the changed uniform top. These are all my current redesigns beside one another, including the ones from the first video. And I would like you to let me know who you want me to redesign next because I am open to choices.